Pelican Women's Championship. Se Kim tournament leader, major winner. This to get to 9 under.
It's another good speed, isn't it? Super speed, not a bad putt there at all. And she would have wanted to put herself right up on the top of this leaderboard. Had a month off before these 3 big events. So feeling fresh, feeling good.
Yeah, I think that's half the battle, isn't it? Staggering and working out your schedule. It's been problematic for everybody this year. Minjee Lee, 3 under. Top shots at 8 and 10, but good week. Jarina Pillar. Oh, catching the right edge. Can play a Jarina Pillar, but you can see there the cut mark +5. So what about this performance? Ali McDonald 66. A 72 from Ashley Buhai after that good start yesterday in 68. But Se Kim at nearing the end of round 2. Wonderful. Lexi at 18.
Pretty much all the way there. Pulled it just a hair.
It's going to take some creativity. Not only is it back up, but she's going to have a little bit of a mound to negotiate on the right-hand side.
Back on the tee, our leader, Se Kim.
Definitely makes a big difference to this hole with the tee moved up. Players do have to think just a little bit harder on the tee shot, but second shot a little bit easier.
Go.
Should be all right. That's all right. Yeah.
Look out. Watch your feet. It's okay. Bianca's got the driver. Brandon Jackson, her caddy. They hooked up earlier as a team. Player caddy at Inverness. He's an Evans scholar.
I personally, Grant, think that's quite a good move because he doesn't have any preconceived ideas on how she should play her game or how golf should be played on the LPGA Tour, and he's basically allowing her to do what comes naturally, which is play her game.
Yeah.
This is her game.
Well, it's a big transition moving from collegiate golf or amateur golf into professional golf and working with somebody else. I've talked to multiple players that's been their biggest hurdle is learning that dynamic of what responsibility you give up to your caddy and what you take on and how you can best take advantage of having somebody else on your team.
Lincecum.
Yep.
Starting it to the right, going to draw back, which is her normal shot.
She's given us the line of the week. You pick it, I'll hit it. She told her caddy, Missy. Minjee Chun. Birdie putt to get into red figures where she won't have a lot of company. There are only 19 players under par out of 107. Oh.
There's a couple little hobbles in the middle of that might have taken some speed off. It looked pretty good.
It took a little peek. I think gravity's working against her there, isn't it? It's
yes, sloping back towards her,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Here is Lexi, third shot.
Okay.
Yeah, not a lot of choice. That's her putter, and you don't really want to putt it through this intermediate cut of fringe, I guess you would say. Downhill lie, uphill here. Really, really good speed, all things considered.
That's really nice. It's not a shot you often have a chance to practice. So being able to pull that out and know that the ball's going to jump off that fairway metal, it typically just pops off so much quicker than the putter does, which is great when you have to go through a lot of grass, but it certainly is an adjustment.
17.
Altamare second. Yeah, really well done. Lovely shot there from Brittany. Almost as good as that donut birthday cake. That's a pretty good one too. Downhill putt, similar to the one we saw from Lexi Thompson a little earlier. A little movement from the right. Se-Young Kim playing the final hole, leads by 1.
But since we joined her, this one will feel better than just a par save. Interesting. She doesn't have really a set routine, number of practice strokes, number of looks at the hole like so many players do. She gets over it and wait till she feels like she's comfortable and committed to the line, and then a varying amount of time until she takes the club back.
It's a good point, Jerry. You know, feel should always dictate first what the pre-shot routine is. So if your routine should not be dictating necessarily your feel should be dictating the routine. And if you don't get there in a set number, then you work with it until you get to the point where you're ready to pull the trigger.
Worked on her English during the COVID-19 shutdown back in Korea. And I don't think we give the Korean players and the other players from other countries who come over here and learn English enough credit how hard that is. Lexi to save her par.
A little bit of a tricky putt here too. Just a slight change in contour, slightly uphill, maybe just pushing it right off impact, and then ends up going a little downhill at the hole, and perhaps coming back to the left. And all of that is very, very subtle. I was talking to her dad after she made a really nice birdie putt earlier this night. I said, you know, as soon as she hits it, whether it's going in or not. He goes, yeah, but the opposite is true too. Although that looked like a pretty good stroke, maybe just a slight misread.
I think that's part of the reason why she's been criticized with her putting, is that it's so quickly off the club. You do know if it's been well struck or not.
She got 1 under par 3 times today, but winds up with a second straight round of even par 70.
Great look there at the putt of Minjee Lee. It's fooling a lot of players, that one. I mean, it's finished right behind the hole, so there is some movement, but tough to read, I think, with this green being as flat as there is a green on the golf course. There's still some subtleties, as we were talking about earlier, and tough to read. Still, good day so far for Minjee. She's under par, but she's going to have to battle Se-Young Kim by the looks of things over the weekend here.
Just 18 players in red figures here as we play late afternoon on day 2, and that leaderboard is being topped by this woman, Se-Young Kim.
Has a really fabulous lie, but the trouble is with this Bermuda, this is really new Bermuda too. Looks like it's not that recently been put in here, and it is really fluffy, and her ball is sitting up almost on the tee. This to me says jump all the way live.
Is it right?
No, I mean, I've been checking this morning and now, and that big flag isn't moving. It's straight across. It's showing just a little, but not. It shouldn't be much, if anything.
Good news is she doesn't have to carry the water. She can play a little bit down the left, land it on the front, and get it to roll back. But it's, I don't know, this is just this little bit of rough just makes this awkward. Like I said, I just think this is going to jump. Yep, smart play. Awkward putt now, though, I think.
That is the conservative play. If you do think there's a chance that the ball may jump off the face, the trouble is behind the hole location from her angle, so that would be the conservative play.
Lincecum.
Brittany's got a 9-iron now. This is from 138.
She's at least holding onto the club.
Yeah.
See that ridge that's repelling Brittany's ball. That's what's going to be difficult for both of those players to judge on their putt.
Karen Bianca Pagdanganan, the rookie, was outside the top 100 in greens in regulation despite leading the tour in driving distance going into Lake Oconee, but she was tied for third in greens hit that week.
Well, and I do think some of that is down to the late start that she had and how limited she was during the COVID break, being in San Diego with access to practice and playing as well. So she didn't have the same kind of warm-up into her season as most, and it being her rookie season, there was a lot to adjust to.
So there's a missed green that's going to be a better look than the two who hit it in regulation, and it just stayed up there a little farther and it would have gone down that slope. 17.
Minjee Lee, second. Seeing some really good ones here. I was talking about the difficulty of that second shot for bunker long. We've seen some really nice approach shots. And Minjee Lee has a putt to get it under par here at Pelican Golf Club in the Pelican Women's Championship.
Minjee Lee.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Just enough.
Awkward stance, perhaps. All right, while we have a moment, down to comments from Lexi. Bianca for birdie.
Really, as you were saying, a better look there, but really slow putt. Other two players, Brittany and Se Young, just putted up and over that really steep little ridge in the green.
Whose ball mark is that next to Bianca's?
That would be Se Young's.
Se Young's, okay. How about that from Lexi, Paige? What you just heard?
I actually didn't carry a yardage book either. I felt like I needed to give away some responsibility so that I could focus a different direction.
Okay.
And for me, it was more of a distraction. It's not common. Most players carry their own book and do their own numbers and, you know, have those conversations with their caddy. But for me, that's what worked. But it is important. What stood out to me is that she wants somebody that she can talk to. Somebody that's a friend, somebody that she can trust. And it's so true. If you're going to have an asset on the bag, it is somebody you spend 8 hours a day with. You spend more time with your caddy than your family most often times.
And Karen, look no further than this player and Missy.
Oh, exactly. I mean, it's the biggest relationship you have. You want to enjoy your time on the golf course with each other because they basically become part of your family.
I mean, Lexi essentially said what Brittany said to Missy earlier, didn't she? You pick it, I'll hit it.
Good playing. And you have to have a confident caddy in that regard too. If you're caddying for one of the best players in the world and they're saying, "I trust you enough to give me direction," the caddy needs to be confident enough to have the right things to say.
Another terrific week brewing for Se Young Kim. She leads by 1.
Amy Olsen for a birdie at the 17th. She's had a really mixed day today, has Amy Olsen. She's only had 4 pars on her scorecard. It's going to be 5 pars on her scorecard. And she's 1 over for the day. So it's been a good battle out there for Amy.
Here is a player with the home club advantage, Brittany Altomare. She's withstood a double bogey on the 13th. She's 2 over.
quick walk either means she loved it or hated it, and that's going to leave a very challenging up and down.
17.
Minjee Chun for birdie to get it to 1 under. Yeah, rattling it in. Fallen to 56th in the world, Minjee Chun, 2-time major champion.
Yeah, 3/4. Yep.
Check out this stance for Minjee Lee.
Yeah, you called it, Grant. It's going to be awkward. But you heard what she said. She says when hit 3/4. Whenever you find yourself in an awkward stance, 3/4 swings will help keep you on balance more. Making solid contact is the most important thing. So rarely on an uneven lie like this would I ever try to hit a full shot.
Water short, right.
Look how stable that was.
Will it stay?
All in all, a good shot
Yeah.
from there. You could see it. That lower body, her right foot didn't even come up post impact.
The strike was great, but I love the kind of the conceptualizing of it.